This video is all about lesser known facts about Denver. Some will be modern, some will be historic, some will be random, but all will be interesting. So whether you already live here like I do, you're thinking of moving here, or you just like learning random things, let's get into this video and learn more than a few things you didn't know about the Mile High City. Let's start with one that I personally disagree with, but a recent study named Denver the worst city in the United States to raise a family. The study used things like healthcare, education, safety, quality of life, and home atmosphere as their main metrics. They didn't use our family because we love it here. And somehow Denver was straight up last on this list, behind cities that are near and dear to my heart, including Charlotte and LA. To me, this is just wild and feels like a list made by people who need to travel more, but a study is a study even if I don't agree with it. Because of our elevation, golf balls actually go about 10% further here than they do at sea level, so you're not imagining it, and you didn't lose your superpowers if you can't hit the ball as far as somewhere else. Because physics. So if you want to hit the driving range while you're out here, or you want to go to Topgolf and try and hit the net at the very back, go right on ahead. It could be a nice boost to your confidence. Next, Denver somehow has more dogs than children. According to a US Census estimate, Denver has around 160,000 dogs and 140,000 children. That's a lot of dogs. We are also the top emerging dog-friendly city according to both Rover and Zillow. Denver dog owners are also good to their dogs. 74% of us take our dogs on hikes, and somehow we are the most likely to play a game of tug of war with our dogs. I have no idea how someone got that stat. So even though that survey said that we're not kid-friendly, we're very dog-friendly. People who live here know this, but Denver was the birthplace of many fast casual restaurants that are known throughout the country. To name a few of the bigger ones, Qdoba, Chipotle, Quiznos, Smashburger, Snooze, and Noodles & Co., all from Denver. To me, I always thought it was kind of crazy that two of the biggest Mexican fast food chains in the whole country, not named Taco Bell, came from the same area, but that also helps explain the similarities between their menus. Also, if you happen to be visiting Denver and you want to go to the first Chipotle or Qdoba for some reason, you absolutely can because they're both still standing. The first Chipotle is near DU and the first Qdoba is near 6th and Grand. And if you're more in the mood for breakfast, the first Snooze is the location on 22nd and Larimer. While we're on this food theme, Denver is actually the home of the first Thai restaurant ever in the United States, and it's where the cheeseburger was invented and trademarked back in 1935. And some people might know this, but Coors invented the first aluminum beer can as we know it out in Golden. If you ever want to visit that Thai restaurant, it's Chata Thai, and it's right next to City Park. And of course, Coors is out here tapping the Rockies all day, every day. And while the restaurant that invented the cheeseburger is long gone, there is a monument that commemorates it in Denver. I'm hoping that this changes one day soon, but the Denver Nuggets are one of 6 NBA teams that has never reached the NBA Finals. So if you have any friends that talk about Nug life and they're super pessimistic, waiting for the Nuggets to collapse, there is something to that, but let's hope that it changes sometime soon. Denver is also one of 12 cities in the United States that has all 4 major professional sports teams. If you watch my channel, you know that I am a big Nuggets fan and a season ticket holder, so if the Nuggets make it to the finals sometime during this Jokic era, it will literally be a once-in-a-lifetime event because it's never happened. If you thought about this for a few minutes, you could probably figure it out, but the Denver area brews more beer than any other American city. And this really shouldn't be a huge surprise because we've got Coors here, places like Breckenridge Brewery, and the Great American Beer Festival is on the calendar every year in Denver. Beer here is not limited to bars and breweries. You're also seeing places like Indian food restaurants, Mexican food spots, and Korean fried chicken places that are also brewing their own beer. If it feels like you can get freshly brewed beer everywhere, it's because you can. One of the most common myths about the Denver area is that we get 300 days of sunshine per year, And people also like to say that we get as much sun as San Diego, which is actually pretty accurate. Our 250 days of sun is absolutely comparable to San Diego's 260 days of sun, but that 300 days of sunshine thing is a lie, a brilliant marketing lie. Also, the sun feels stronger here because it actually is. It's not just you. So experts will disagree on what the actual percentage is, but in general, they say that the sun is about 30 to 40% stronger here compared to someone who lives at sea level. Whenever we would visit Denver, I always said that the sun felt brighter here, and this was very validating to me because I kind of thought I was crazy, but it's real. At 53 square miles, you might know that the Denver International Airport is the largest airport in the United States in terms of landmass, but did you also know that it's the second largest airport in the world, trailing only an airport in Saudi Arabia? This was honestly a surprise to me because it feels like there are other airports like Dallas that feel a little bit bigger, maybe because their tram thing goes outside, but we are number 2, and this is the reason why it takes a little bit longer to get to your flight in Denver because you are covering a ton of ground. And of course, many people think that the Denver airport has hundreds of miles of underground tunnels, lizard people, a second Area 51, and ties to the Illuminati, but that's another video for another day. So while the hype has died down a little bit, Denver has more marijuana dispensaries than it does McDonald's and Starbucks combined. That's a lot. There was a time when it felt like there were dispensaries everywhere that you looked, and while it's died down a little bit, there's still a ton here. Many years ago, when I first moved here, I lived in Airbnbs for about 4 months, just hopping from place to place, figuring out where I wanted to live. And at one point, I had roommates for a month from Florida who came here just to smoke weed at the peak of Dispensary Fest, and I think they had a great time. And I didn't know this one, but Denver is the only city to turn down hosting the Olympics. So if you've ever asked yourself why the Olympics don't come to Denver, I don't think that the Olympics will want to forgive Denver for this for a long time. More specifically, it was the Winter Olympics that were supposed to come here in 1976, but people here did not want to put taxpayer dollars towards it, nor did they want the population to temporarily explode, so they voted against it. So while we didn't host the Olympics, and I would honestly be surprised if we ever did, we have a large Olympic training facility down in Colorado Springs. That's there primarily because of the altitude and the weather. If you've lived here for any amount of time, you know this, but it can snow in Denver for 10 months of the year. 10 months. The East Coast and the Midwest, they can't touch us when it comes to this. Wyoming comes pretty close, but I'm pretty sure that we see snow in more months than any other state in the country. The earliest snow ever in Denver was September 3rd, and the latest snow was June 12th. So far, it has never snowed in July or August, but September 3rd really was not that far away. That being said, we're not covered in snow year-round like parts of Minnesota and Wisconsin. It snows, it melts, and we do it all over again. This is really for the tourists who are watching this video, but there is exactly one step on the Capitol building that is exactly 1 mile high. While the 15th step has a little carving to indicate that it is a mile high, a more accurate measurement in the 2000s indicated that it's actually the 13th step is exactly 1 mile high. And I know we're talking about a few feet here, but it could be a cool picture to take if you're visiting. And if you want to learn more about Denver, especially things to do and places to eat, here are some more videos that I've made recently, and I'll catch you over there.